Alright, we're going to be tying a stimulator pattern today. In the vise we have an Rex FW531 size 12. For our thread we're going to be using some superfine fluoro red. We'll go ahead and get our thread started here. I'm using anadromous Flyco scissors today. Alright, now we're going to be using Nature Spirit bleached mule deer. Now when I tie this tail in, I like to come up to where my thorax is going to start, and I'll start it right there. Make sure that I have it in just the right spot where I want it. And the reason I do that is because if you tie it in at the very back first, you'll have to fight these hairs because they'll be standing up everywhere, and you know, nobody wants to do that. So get those tied down there, make a clean little cut right across. Now I like to take a little bit of flash. I just have some generic flash here, just a little bit, and I line them right to the tips or a little before the tips. And this is going to have dubbing over it, so you don't have to come all the way back up if you don't want, but you can. That's, you know, it's an option there. And on these stimulators, sometimes I like to use a smaller feather back here and a larger feather up here. It just depends, really. I mean, it's vice versa, really. But I just think it looks nice when you do it that way. We're going to grab some superfine dubbing. This is the Steelhead collection here, and I'm using the ice orange. Now this stuff is super long, but it's really easy to use. I find if you put the longer, any type of long strand dubbing, don't put it parallel to your thread, put it perpendicular to your thread, and it'll dub right on very easily. But if you put it parallel, then it just wraps on itself and it doesn't really wrap around the thread. So if you're struggling with dubbing and you guys want me to make a dubbing video, I have one over on my TikTok, but if you want me to make one on here, just let me know. Alright, now these little fibers sticking out, I don't worry about them. Those fibers do not matter. I always take one wrap around the base before coming up. Whoop. I'm going to catch that right in. And I just pop it off there. Grab our other anadromous scissors here. These are the titanium coated spring scissors. These things are awesome. I love them. Anyway, make sure your tail's sticking up there a little bit. I'm going to come in right over the top at an angle. I set like right down on the eye, and then I cut up. It's like a little, almost like a little launch ramp there. Then we're going to grab more of that generic flash. Well, you don't have to use these colors. This is just a little variation that I wanted to do here. These attractor patterns are awesome. Hotspot pattern, whatever you want to call it. Any dry fly to me is fun to tie. Alright, and then we're going to grab some more of that mule deer. Get that stacked up there. That's the Zippy Hair Stacker by Loon. It's pretty much the only Loon stuff I use is their hair stackers. Not saying Loon products are bad, that's just what I have. And they're packers. I like their hair packer a lot. But that's pretty much all I have by them. Except for like their dubbing wax. That's the high tack wax is, whew, it's sticky, all right. Next we're gonna grab it doesn't look like it's a different color, but it is a different color saddle here. This is just a brown badger from jimsflyco.com. It's like the best place to get any type of feathers. Well, any type of like hen and rooster. I think pretty sure they're the biggest whiting distributor out there. Then we're gonna grab more of this Superfly dubbing, but we're gonna grab the Ice Red. You can stretch this stuff out and make it work, but I don't want it to come apart in the water, so we're gonna stretch it out a little bit here, or we're gonna tighten it up a little bit. Alright, and I don't worry about the little bits showing through because the fish do not care about that. Four or 5 wraps is about the golden number if you ask me. So I take a couple of wraps and I push away from me and then I pull towards the left. Alright, next we're gonna grab our whip finisher here. This is the Anadromous Flyco Spring Whip Finisher. It's so easy to use. We're gonna throw 2 whips in there just for good measure. Then we're gonna snip it off close. Now before I go to cleaning the eye up, I always first like to take a little bit of resin or head cement. Now my favorite resin is the Superfly resin, but when I'm doing heads I tend to use a little thin resin. And if you get some on the feathers, that's no big deal. It just pulls right off. Then I'll come in with my burner, my thread zapper, or whatever you call it, the cautery tool. And I'll clean those little bits up. But the reason I put resin on it first is because if you catch that thread, then your whole head's gonna go bye-bye. Because this will take that thread right off of there. And that's about it. This is a great pattern to throw. The colors on this is really easy to see for you, and the fish love it. And you'll notice when I tie these, I try to have like a circular, like going this way, all even on these tips. So yeah, that's it. If there's anything you guys want to see, any type of tutorials or any type of techniques, the tools I use, anything like that, please let me know. I'll see you in the next one.